Okay, so today is interesting. I'm going to be showing you how I sell, really how I sell, but how I pack up and record videos on instruments that I sell through Reverb or other mediums of selling things. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Strandberg Odin Essential, which every time I look at, I'm kind of sad that I'm going to end up selling it. But I love the way it looks. I just don't love the neck. The neck on the Hills guitar, which you might have seen the video on that I ordered, is much more up my alley. The body I don't love the look of as much, but should be less vain and think more about the comfortability of the guitar. So jumping right in, we're gonna go ahead and just do a close up on the guitar, and I'm gonna try and point out anything cosmetically that like is wrong with it. There are some shiny spots, as you can see, kind of like under the pickups. There's a small dent underneath the neck pickup. There's some marks, tiny spots around the volume knob as well. A little bit shinier towards where the forearm rests. Around fret 16, which look like I'm going to be able to get it to show up. There we go. Right after fret 15, but before fret 16, there's a small dent in the fretboard. Scratches up at the headless nub. Okay, on the back, there's a dent on the belly card, which you can see there. I think that was the only thing I could really find on the back, other than maybe some light scratches, which is the one you can maybe see on the cavity cover. Neck is in really good shape with some small, I don't even know if it's going to show up, discoloring like right around here. Almost impossible to see on camera. You can see it if the light hits it right. It just looks like some hazing in the finish or something. I'm not really sure. Then we have back of the nub. Here's the nub again. Go ahead and look at the sides. Oh, there's treble side of the neck. Cavity. Sorry. Hey, hey, doing a video. See that there's a doggy outside, but you don't need to be upset about that. Here's the bass side of the guitar. So again, neck looks pretty good. There's no damage or anything, but I did notice that like the third fret marker is like kind of sunk in, probably because they just had it a little bit shorter than the actual guitar's width. Something else I don't know if you can see, but the pickups. I noticed this on every Strandberg have ever had. The pickups are like very scratch prone, so they're a little bit scuffed up too, but hard to see on camera. Okay, so that's the guitar. Big bag. So just the standard Strandberg gig bag. And then inside the front pocket of the gig bag, as I show you things, I'm in there. I'm going to I have a tracker in the bag. Take that out because I won't be selling that. The only thing that's been upgraded on the guitar or changed at all was I did the output jack to a pure tone one instead of the box one. I just like the way they are. It's a pretty easy thing to swap out. But the original one is included here. So here you have the 3 Allen keys, one for locking the strings in place, one for doing intonation. Sorry, 4 Allen keys. One for doing the tuners on the bridge, although they work very easily if you want to do it by hand. And then the other one, I think, I don't know what the other one is for, but there's 4 in here, all 4 that came with it. All the paperwork stuff. So we have like the product tag, Essential 6 Elemental Blue, warranty registration, which I don't think I ever filled that out or anything. I did buy it directly from Strandberg because that color is Strandberg only color. Thank you card. With like a little booklet on the hardware, and then another booklet on everything else. Okay, so all that. Ouch. Next up, I'm going to take the guitar. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Okay, and we're going to listen to it. Make sure everything is working properly. Okay, so that would be all the electronics when they work. Here is going to be a like a fret, not a buzz test, but a dead note test. So for those of you who don't understand what fret buzz versus a dead fret is, fret buzz is usually where the fret is so tall that the note just chokes out and it maybe rings a little bit, but doesn't ring at all. Like doesn't really resonate very much. And then fret buzz is where the strings rattle a little bit. Fret buzz is typically okay in moderation, just because if you're plugging into an amp, it's usually going to kind of cover up most fret buzz. That's mild, but there are instances where it's like not quite a dead note, but it is buzzing a lot. So I usually check for dead frets. So here we have all the open strings. Turn the speakers in a little bit. Once you get to about here, kind of hard to move the hand up, so I'm just going to use one finger. Okay, A string. D string. G. B. IE. Okay. I think that covers pretty much everything electronic wise and fret wise. So next up, I'm going to put it on the couch here with the bag. I'm going to turn on my overhead light, just better lighting there. And I just take a couple of pictures. Usually try to max out the pictures, but because I'm doing videos too, the video covers a lot of the condition. So I'll still do like some close-ups and stuff of where some of those marks are. Here the neck pickup, if I can get it to that 16th fret. See if I can get. But not a lot I can do. Something else I forgot to mention. There are some marks around here on the head nub. I think I mentioned over here, but there's also some here. Super noticeable. Actually, to be honest, that bigger one doing like that, and I was like, "Wouldn't this be a B stock?" But Stramberg didn't want to have it. I didn't actually tell them, but I thought to myself it should be B stock. And take take a full body picture and then some close-ups of coloration in the neck. Small dent in the belly carve. Round for horn. Now noticing. Not sure from what. Pickups too, because like I said, there are. Okay. That should be plenty of pictures along with the video for this. Now, the guitar has a gig bag. Back it in the gig bag. I haven't sold a guitar without a gig bag in a while. But I think from now on, if I do sell guitars without gig bags, I'm probably just going to end up buying cheap gig bags to ship them in because they're a good idea to have. So guitar will go in there. Actually, before we do that, I have like a spec sheet that I started doing for guitars that come in and out. So this is a Strandberg, that's a brand. Model, Bowden, Essential. We have serial number C2405638. Country of origin, so made in Indonesia. Body type, not really applicable here. We have a satin finish. Gig bag is included. Body wood, I believe, is Meranti, which is a soft form mahogany. Probably one of the biggest downsides to this. And even I don't know if the standards still are, but the standards used to be made out of basswood, and if they still are, softer wood. It doesn't sound quality-wise, and I don't know if it sounds better or worse or anything like that. It's just different. Meranti's really soft. My Ibanez S over there is Meranti too. Dense, super easy, which is kind of annoying. There's no top. Neck wood, roasted maple. Neck profile and dur. So those of you who didn't notice, it's a trapezoid with a moving center line. Honestly, I love for like that lead type stuff, but the open chords is kind of where it doesn't feel as good. Fingerboard wood is rosewood. And I can't verify some of this stuff, but that's what their website says. Fingerboard radius is 20 inches. 1 second. Okay, so scale length. This is not, so it's a bone essential, so it's not a multi-scale, so it's 25.5 inches. Nut width, I actually don't know that off the top of my head. Let's see. I usually go off millimeters here, but we're looking at about the 2 millimeters. Usually I'd use my caliper to do that, but it's very difficult to get in the closet right now to get the caliper out. Frets, they are 24 stainless steel, no binding. I can't measure again neck thickness at the 1st or 12th fret, mainly because there's strings on it already, as well as the caliper is inaccessible at the moment. Bridge type is hardtail, no trem. Tuning machines, there's no ratio for the tuning machines because they are barrels, so they just turn until there's nowhere left to go. Pickup neck pickup is a humbucker. Switching is 5-way. Pickup middle, there's none. Electronics, 1 volume and 1 tone. Bridge pickup is a humbucker. These are the Strandberg humbuckers, which have the little like asterisk symbol bottom. Weight, that's a good one to get. A lot of people want to know how much a guitar weighs. So, guitar weighs 5 pounds, 5.8. This is something I also usually like to take a picture of. Good thing to have. Right now, 5 pounds, 5.8. We have 5 pounds, 5.8 ounces. String gauge, 10 to 46, and they're, if anybody cares, they're D'Addario NYXLs is what I put on it. Now, something else that a lot of people want to know is what is the action at the 12th fret on low E and high E, which is our typical measurement. I have had some people ask me before, why do you press the 1st fret of the guitar when you measure the action? No particular reason other than the fact that Music Nomad says in order to use this gauge, you should do that. However, on the gauge itself, it doesn't say you need to do that. So I just stopped doing it altogether. So from the top of the 12th fret to the bottom of low E, probably a little less than 1.5, but I'm going to say 1.5 millimeters. And from high E say it's about 1 millimeter, maybe a little bit more. There's no way to get like a perfect measurement with this, but you can get pretty close. Neck relief. If I'm measuring from the Strandberg says fret the last fret and the 1st fret and measure at the 9th fret, if I remember correctly. Music Nomad says measure at the 6th fret, fretting the 1st and the 12th, I think. So if I use the Music Nomad's capo pick here at the 1st fret, and I fret the 12th, does measure around 6, and we're sitting at about 10 thousandths of an inch. Might seem like a lot, but that is the recommended, according to Strandberg specs, that's the recommended height. The guitar has been set up based on their recommendations. And if you think about it, the 20-inch radius is more inclined to be like a classical guitar, and that is the measurement for a classical guitar. Of course, you can set it up to whatever you like when you get it. But we're going to go 0.010 inch. Nutsaw height, I can't do a good measurement on either. But I will say that I think I took them all down to about 5 thousandths of an inch, if not 3 thousandths of an inch. Actually, I don't remember if I did that on this guitar. I think this guitar was already pretty good, so I might not have done anything. Evaluation sheet is pretty much done, but I usually like to mark up like cosmetic conditions. Ding under neck pickup. We got a ding on back belly contour. There's one on the side too somewhere. There's some small stuff on the side, but nothing going up. I thought I spotted one on the side the other day. Okay, so doing on the belly contour, some hazing in the finish on the neck near frets 2 and 3. And a small dent after fret 15. Okay. All right. And I'm going to format this a little nicer. Okay. Function, no issues with functionality. Fret wear, stainless steel. Remember, does a really good job on the frets. Might need like notice some tooling marks or something, but they feel pretty smooth. So good. All right, now time to pack it up. Now I'll give you a couple of reasons why I do this. This is another thing that I usually get questions about when I sell something. It's like, oh, you know, why do you do all this work to sell the thing? Just send it off and be done with it. Well, there's kind of a couple of reasons. One is, if you ever have it arrive damaged, you have perfect documentation on the condition of the instrument, value, all that stuff when you get it. So Reverb Safe Ship should help cover all, if not most, of the instrument if it's damaged. So this is good for that. It's also good because video is going to do a lot better than pictures. And in a world where we buy online, I'd rather see a video than pictures. So oftentimes we look up videos on the guitars we like, and then we buy the same model. But as a lot of us have seen, if you go into the store, you don't always get the same two guitars are not always going to be exactly the same. So that's a good reason to do the videos. And I think it's nice to have that peace of mind. And it takes me 40 minutes to do this. And honestly, you know, when I'm selling a cheaper instrument, it's kind of annoying. But like I said, I just think it's a nice little thing to do. Okay, so the Strandberg evaluation sheet is done. So I also take a picture of that, which is on the computer. And what I do is with that, I will upload it into the pictures of the listing, so you can see all the specs run through. All right, so it's in the bag. We have that listed. I have boxes. Put it in. Yes, you heard me right. Boxes, plural. So, just doing some videos on a Donner DS Rising G1. Sorry. So that box will be used as outside. Whoever's buying the G1 will be coming in person. And then here's the box from the Hills guitar that I will be keeping. And I figure this is probably big enough to hold. Yes. So, double boxing is typically a better idea than single boxing. All right. So, have plenty of padding and stuff in here for the guitar. Take the guitar. Fits in here nicely. Another reason why double boxing is good. If this was the only box, it's a pretty tight fit. So any sort of like bumps or road turbulence or whatever you want to call it will be a little bit more noticeable. I don't need every plastic that came in the car, but good. Put cardboard here in the front of the box. Help protect it. I wouldn't normally do that. Usually notice that it's something like that, but it doesn't hurt. It's already there, might as well. Okay. The box is more or less closed as much as it can be without some superior force. So a couple of pieces of tape here. I don't want to do a lot. I usually do like 3 pieces along the box. I don't want to make it a pain in the butt for somebody to open. One last one, bottom. Okay. So, car is packaged up in that box. Now, I don't want to seal the second box, and the reason for that is once you sell something, you get a packing slip. Packing slips are meant so that if the exterior, or at least from my understanding, I could be completely wrong on this, if the exterior label gets damaged, the packing slip inside the box is supposed to help identify what the item is or where it's supposed to go. So I don't like to seal the second box, or if I'm doing one box, the first box, until I am certain the guitar has its packing slip. So there's some extra stuff in the box here. Surprising. Don't think we're gonna need. So have, and I can't really get into the closet. So here we go. I don't even know if this will fit, but I kind of hope it does. I have another box in the closet, which I will have to get out. It doesn't fit. Okay, well, there is a second box. I'm not going to get it out on camera. The only thing I do on the second box is I put the original box in. The boxes are taller than the reverb boxes. I cut it down so it's a smaller size, so shipping is less expensive. And then I don't stuff it with packing paper. I just do enough packing paper that the guitar can't swing back and forth. But it's a good idea to leave some sort of air cushion because, again, you don't want the guitar kind of like smacking into something and causing pressure on the neck. It's not usually a problem, or I don't think I've ever experienced a problem with headless guitars, but like Gibsons are notorious for head snapping in transit. So that's something to consider. Sorry I couldn't show you that last little bit, but yeah, that's my whole process for packing guitar to sell on Reverb or one of those other marketplaces. If you have any questions about this process, or maybe you want a link to the sheet to use for your own sales or something, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.